we're doing the soft intro. The soft intro where it's like they do like a bit and then it plays the song and then it comes
Nicole,
back.
I've never seen a podcast.
They do it on shows. We've already done the soft opening.
Soft opening is fun. Now it's time to get hard.
Oh. Now that is the intro. Howdy hi, y'all. Welcome to Safe Space Until It's Not, where it's a safe space until it's not. I'm the one here to make you both safe and unsafe. So I've got the question for you all. What's making you feel safe these days? Hopefully it's me, JJ Dela Cruz. In addition to making you feel safe, we're gonna make you feel unsafe. You know, a little on edge. You know, a little saucy, a little spicy. Yeah. So the follow up to the question of what's making me feel safe is, of course, what can I do to undermine it? That's the question we're really going to be unpacking these days. And by these days, I mean in all of the future episodes. Stay tuned. Join along. Buckle up, Buster. So, a little bit about me, a little bit about the pod, and then we'll venture into bits, etc. And then we'll actually get into the nitty gritty of today's pod. We've got friends in the stew today. We've got Talia, we've got Lindsay, we've got Tony. There'll be plenty of other friends for more stories. So again, stay tuned, stay buckled, stay along for the ride. We'll talk about mystical stuff. We'll talk about magical stuff. We'll talk about spiritual stuff. We'll talk about mindful stuff. We'll talk about gay stuff. We'll talk about more gay stuff. We'll talk about even more gay stuff. We'll talk about filthy stuff, regrettably. Not regrettably. But yeah, it's just going to be a good and fun and fresh time. But not so good and fun and fresh because we do have to ensure that it does in fact say unsafe. So let's talk more about the pod. How exactly will we make it unsafe? Plenty of unsafe questions, plenty of unsafe topics. I've got a hammer on set. You never know when you're going to need it. We've just got anything that you could possibly need to make it unsafe. It's basically it's like Saw roulette. What's coming? Are there bear traps in the chairs? Are there landmines under that? Oh, actually, is that insensitive to talk about when there's like literally?
Yeah, you can leave landmines out.
Oh fuck.
Landmines.
Hi guys. It's been brought to my attention that I've said something potentially problematic and cancelable. I recognize my fallibility. If anything, I pointed it out. Let us not forget. However, I do recognize that this is a moment to be sensitive to the subjects happening, the happenings of the rest of the world, and maybe we don't talk about landmines. Yeah. Bear traps are still on the table though. But
bear traps.
I'll be better. Thanks. So, we want it to be unsafe, but we also want it to be educational and fun and a place for us to, be a little bit better, right? So we'll have moments like that. I will undoubtedly flop, and I will undoubtedly, pull myself back up by the bootstraps and educate myself. Do my darndest. And also, I guess let's go ahead and get into the bits. Anytime I say something cancelable, we've got a jar offset, our cancel count jar, in which I will throw a quarter. Buckets. Wow. Don't get used to it. Do not get used to it.
Just kidding.
Hi. It's been brought to my attention that someone offset has said something that is cancelable. I'll go ahead and do another quarter. Y'all saw that. I made it. Anyways, so we've got bits. We've got a little bit here. We've got a little bit there. First one is the cancel count jar. Whenever we have guests, we'll also do cancel count. So we'll probably use that as like a mechanism for gauging how safe versus unsafe it is. More quarters, more unsafe. Less quarters, less safe. But I guess that's also fun. We've got quarters. We've got donuts. Oh wait, for those of y'all listening, let me do one up for y'all. We've got a little cloche over here. It's very cute and fun and fresh. The bottom of it is pink. The top of it is purple. And it's filled with chocolate covered donuts that I would obviously offer to my guests because I'm a Southern king. Yeah, so we've got donuts, we've got bits. What else have we got? We've got microphones. There's going to be a little bit of singing every now and then, probably. Not good singing, don't count on it. But count on singing, almost certainly. So we've done some ASMR, and naturally, ASMR stands for Something meme review. So we're gonna talk about memes leading up to the the birth of Safe Space Until It's Not. I was like, I know that I'm gonna have to introduce myself, but how exactly do I do that? I mean, y'all saw my poor attempt at it earlier. What? So I was like, how better to introduce myself to people who might not know me than by soliciting responses from people who do know me, right? So I posted a little Instagram story. Follow me at Big George. Follow the pod at Safe Space Until. Um, Instagram, no, not Twitter. Facebook, not Facebook. YouTube, Spotify. But anyways, I solicited memes from people who know me, and we got a couple of good responses. I will say one person in particular submitted 47 memes. Icon, shout out at Adri. We stand. Oh, it's actually middle finger. Shout out at Adri. We stand. Shout out Adri. That was where y'all were supposed to say Adri because it was a shout out on Adri. It's okay. We're keeping this. Anyway.
Hey, what's up, Adri? Adri.
Now we're hey. I don't know if y'all heard that. Tony off screen said, "Hey, what's up, Adri?" Almost essentially like that, or like almost exactly like that. That same, what would you call that tone? Same energy. I don't know what it was. I didn't like it. If anything, I feel unsafe. Tony, put a quarter. Oh, good sound. Good sound. Tony was proud he had to put a quarter in there. Anyways, we're back to the memes. Adri, friend of the pod, best friend of the pod after 47 memes. Some might argue. I might be the sum. But anyways, 47 memes, and of those, 15 specifically targeted, included, mentioned, or relied upon raccoons. And I'm not like I really don't know. Like I like it. I'm not an animal person. If there's one thing to know about me, it's probably not that. But I'm not an animal person. So it's interesting that I give critter, you know. And I think that that's a good distinction. I don't give animal, however, I do give critter. Yeah, yeah. Actually, I'm back on board. Adri, you might have been onto something. You're eating. You're eating. So we had a lot of raccoon content. Um, a lot of it was very like yeah, just critter like manic, wild, one big eye, one little eye kind of energy, you know? Um, and so that's my essence. Buckle up. We've got big eye, little eye raccoon. We've got a lot of that energy coming in. This also all kind of started because one of my coworkers, Erin, shout out Erin.
Hey, Erin. Hey, Erin. Shout out, girl.
Audience is on fire today. Let's go. Erin out of nowhere just DM'd me an Instagram reel of like hobby horsing, and I don't think we've ever talked about hobby horsing, but she sent it to me and unprompted, unprovoked, and just said, "This felt like you." What do you mean hobby horse feels like me? Hobby horsing, like oh yeah, for the homies who don't know, because obviously the audience knows, the audience here, but like not the audience there. So if you're in the audience there, this one's for you. Hobby horsing is like
I'm not ashamed to not know what hobby horsing is.
no,
learning.
Slay. All right. So hobby horsing, for those of you who don't know, because obviously the live studio audience knows, but for those of you at home who don't know, or no, y'all probably know also. I don't want to make you feel that unsafe this early. Just buckle up. Just wait. I don't know what hobby horsing is, but if I had to guess correctly, hobby horsing would be like taking one of those play stick horses, like play like stuffed stick horses, and you are like running around on the horse and like jumping over obstacles, like you're doing dressage. I think like what you would normally do on a horse, like full grown, real living horse. Um, but like you're not on a horse, you're just on the stick horse, and so you're running around, you're galloping, you're doing your, what is it, trotting, you're doing all of your business, but it's just on a like toy horse, a plush horse. um so yeah, Aaron sends me that and it's like, oh yeah, this just felt very you. Bombastic side eye, I believe is what they say these days. um because what do you mean I'm 15 raccoon emojis, I mean memes, followed by hobby horse, and then these are top three. Like big, these are, plenty of honorable mention, but like these are the big three, the heavy hitters. We got stuff to get to, so I gotta cut through. I'm synthesizing. I'm doing as the doctor does. I'm synthesizing and summarizing. Anyways, the final thing came from Bestie Brendan, and Brendan sent a tweet, one from an account that said named Wet Dog, and I thought that was the tweet at first, and I was like, Brendan, you bitch, what the? I, I remind you of Wet Dog. But then I read it, and I read the tweet, and it was like the the pipeline, or like the lifespan of a gay getting progressively or gradually more naked as they gain traction on Twitter is like watching a baby take steps for the first time. And let me say that one more time with fewer pauses, fewer breaks. Oh, now the audience wants to get engaged.
Hey, what's up, Brendan?
But y'all,
Shout out, Brendan, my dog.
oh my god. Brendan Wet Dog, friend of the pod. Brendan Wet Dog of the pod, mascot for the pod. Focus, lock in. The tweet was the timeline or the progression. Fuck, don't worry, I've recorded episodes 2 and 3 and I'm in shorts, and they do progressively get shorter. So make sure you give me the traction so that I can get naked accordingly. I'm just kidding. I know potentially my coworkers are gonna watch this. Natalie, if you're watching, I'm not gonna do any of that. I am gonna wear shorts in the next episodes, but I'm not. I feel unsafe. I feel unsafe by myself. We're gonna do 2 of them, one for each J. So yeah, those were like the 3 big takeaways, right? A lot of raccoons, big critter energy. We've also got hobby horse, bonkers, and then we've got progressively getting more naked on camera, and that's quite literally the unholy trinity. So, um, you know, compelling argument to stick around, theoretically. I sure hope so. And if you're not sticking around for me, maybe I could interest you in sticking around for the stew. You might be saying, "Who is Stu?" It's Studio. Studio walkthrough. We'll call it a stew through, if you will. I'm gonna kind of go around. This set was meticulously curated, um, such that everything in this facility is, representative of me and who I am as a person. It really makes a statement about where we are at this particular time, um, at this particular juncture in space time. And so I really want to invite you in and talk about that. No, I'm kidding. We're gonna bullshit about the stuff that's in here. So if we look over here to my left, y'all's right, theoretically. This is my good old bookshelf. Do I have a favorite book on here? If I had, I love a good old stats book, but oh, here we go. We've got Dude, You're a Fag. Dude, You're a Fag, Masculinity and Sexuality in High School. She's a goodie. It was believe it or not, a deep dive into masculinity and sexuality in high school. Crazy. The title did a great job. But that was really good. We got some other good communication bits and bops in here. Bits and bops. We got some stats. Lot of Avatar business. Big Avatar fans. Like I said, we've got mics. Let's turn them on. Bluetooth, no. Call me Beyonce. The way this mic is on. We've also got a nice little Nido, a little stress cube for when the homies feel stressed, because they will. They will. We've also got some fun art from Bestie of the pod, Casey Ann Foley. She's an embroidery. She like embroiders on. Oh, I guess I don't actually need this microphone. We've got Casey who does embroidery on like pictures and on like non-traditional kinds of media. and she was kind enough to donate one to the pod. So follow her, Casey Foley, Casey Foley O. We've also got Handy Dandy Trusty Hammer. I wasn't joking. Oh my god! Actually, favorite book, dissertation. You can check her out on all of your, you know. Hi, I'm JJ Dela Cruz. You can find my dissertation, Communicating Outness, Studying Self-Disclosures of LGBTQ plus identities in Coming Out Conversations, where you can get all of your other theses and dissertations. Wink. She's fine. I wouldn't look into her. We got a good old dictionary. Love a good old dictionary. Competitive speller for 9 years. Again, we're just going to talk a lot about words. A lot about words. If you pan to your left, you can see arranged along the wall, we've got some iconic art pieces. And by iconic, I mean purchased from Facebook Marketplace. Not a lot of sentimental value yet, but we've got plenty of time to build, build memories, um, etch traumas into these. It's gonna be really nice. It's gonna be really beautiful. We've got a fun little plant, as I mentioned. We've got our little donut stand, more for the homies at home. Oh, another bit on this podcast is that I'm gonna have bad posture. So if you see it, it's entirely a bit. I promise. I have much better posture in person. We've also got a cute little dog right here holding quarters, in case the dog ever feels unsafe. And then if we pan a little further to your left, you can see up in the corner we've got a fun little Texas flag. And then if you pan just a little down, hey, not that far down, my eyes are up here, Buster. We've got a fun little boot-shaped letterboard. Because in case you haven't guessed, I'm from Texas. Houston, Texas, baby. Not from Houston, Texas, but from Texas. So we'll have a lot of little southern moments probably. Talk about cowboy culture, critter culture. Yeah, I mean, I shouldn't be surprised by the critter energy because I certainly was raised as a critter. We've also got two cute little candles. We've got another little art piece, again by Casey Foley. Shout out Casey Folio. We've got a fun little meditation bowl. Ding. Wait. Oh, I saw the sun. Um, Oh, and we'll skip that for a second. Down here, a little further down on this shelf, we've got a picture of me and a pal Willie doing an episode of Hot Ones. It's essentially an homage to my first, I guess podcast YouTube video in this area in central Pennsylvania. And then we've got a fun little graduation duck, a little sparkly green duck with a graduation cap, and then a painting I did of a little lake nearby, again in central Pennsylvania. No more specific than that. But back to the shelf that we skipped. The shelf that we skipped includes two books, one of which incredibly visually appealing for the homies watching. Ooh, for the homies listening. Ooh, ah, but in just audio. Actually, now let me describe the book. It's called "I Would Leave Me If I Could," and it's a collection of poetry by Halsey, one of my favorite artistes. And the cover is just like a smattering of faces in various colors. It's all of the different parts and pieces and faces that is Halsey. So we'll almost certainly talk about that. We're definitely going to talk about Halsey lyrics. Halsey, we're going to do Halsey deep dives. Buckle up, buckle up. Go ahead and prepare to miss that day if you're not a Halsey head. Last but certainly not least, we've got this book by two of my favorite drag queens, two of my favorite podcasters, Trixie Mattel, and Katya Zamolodchikova. And it's called Working Girls, Trixie and Katya's Guide to Professional Womanhood. And naturally, I was gifted this because I am nothing if not a professional, nothing if not a woman, and nothing if not from a hood. Can I say that?
Yes.
Yeah, I can say that. Okay. Jury's still out on that one. I'll throw a dime in the jar if I must. But this had to go last because it's a perfect transition into the story of the day because I was gifted this very recently and I opened it up to, oh man, if I were a better host, I would have already had the page marked. But I opened it up when I was gifted this, and what page should I open it to except for fucking scams? And if you know anything about me IRL, you'll know I've got a crazy history with scams. One in particular that happened last year. So sit back, relax, you know, take a sip, take a bite, do whatever it is that you're doing, but do it leisurely because we're about to go on a ride, y'all. So this would have been last July, July 2024, for those of you keeping track on your calendars. Um, I okay, fine. You twisted it out of me. I was on Grinder, right? And I was talking to a gentle person, and we're having this conversation. We're going back and forth. We exchange a picture. We exchange another picture. Oh, mom, sorry, I did tell you in advance not to watch this. Anyways, so we're talking, we're chatting, we send a picture, whatever. We exchange names and then we exchange phone numbers. Nothing crazy, right? Because we've been talking a couple of days. I didn't think it was anything crazy, right? Little did I know that this was about to be my first run in with name redacted because I'm actually really scared to talk about the name of the group, but we'll just call them like Danger Boys, right? Um, little did I know that this would lead into my first encounter. Well, not first, like I had many, but it would lead to my encounter with Danger Boys, right? And so we go back and forth, we exchange phone numbers, whatever, whatever. One thing leads to another, and I'm being blackmailed, sextorted. They're like, you need to send me 1,000. I don't know what thousand of what, but you need to send me 1,000. Otherwise, I am going to find you and I'm going to unalive you. And I was like, oh, damn, that's crazy. Like, I've had plenty of scams. Not my first time being blackmailed. Regrettably, not my first time being extorted. It happens a day in the life. But this one was different because it was the first time that I'd really like been threatened and like my physical being and my life had been threatened. So that was a little concerning because people have been like, pay me $500 or I'm sending this to every person that insert university name that I'm not also going to talk about because I'm scared. We're going to send this to every person, right? And I was like, that's regrettable, but at this moment I can't afford to buy food. I'm not going to give you $500. Hope they enjoy. Let me know when you send them out so I can so I can text my group chat a warning, and apologize to my boss in advance, right? Fortunately, nothing ever came out of that. Anyways, flash forward back to July of 2024, right? We're in my most recent blackmail sextortion scandal, and they're threatening my life, and so again, I'm a little concerned. But then things really, really ramp up when they also threaten my family. And so I leave work at 5. I'm driving home. I'm hurrying because I've got to get to Zumba, right, which starts at 5:45. So I have to drive 15 minutes home, quick costume change, venture across town another 15 minutes or 10 to 15 minutes so I can be on time for Zumba, right? In the time that it took me to leave work and get home, I got 7 text messages from this one phone number that was like, I know where you are. I'm going to unalive you. We're coming to get you tonight at 8 p.m. Like, if you don't send us 500. And they're like, don't think that we're playing a game. And then they start texting me in Spanish because Danger Boys speak Spanish. Um, and so I'm like starting to get a little worried because I'm like, this is a lot of text like in rapid succession. And can you not lean on the door? You're wobbling. um, what did I say? They speak Spanish. Speak Spanish. Oh, rapid succession. Um, so it's like all coming in rapid succession, and then also the content of the messages. I'm like, oh, this is a little worrisome. Let me text my dad, right? And so, well, I call him, and I'm like, hey, what's up? I know it's probably nothing. Mind you, my dad is a cop, right? So I'm like, hey, it's probably nothing, but like, just a heads up. I'm getting these texts. They're saying they're gonna unalive me. They're saying they're gonna unalive y'all. So it's probably nothing, but just a heads up, right? So this is me alerting the local authorities for y'all, right? And he's like, yeah, it's probably nothing. You don't need to worry about it or whatever. Just delete and block, delete the chat, block the number. You'll be fine. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I already did it. Just wanted to report, cover all my bases, right? And I venture off to Zumba. I don't think it's going to be anything too crazy. While I'm gone, I've already blocked the number. It's no big deal. It usually stops after that, right? No. After I've hung up on the phone with my dad, I drive across town to go to Zumba, and in that time, another phone number has started texting me, basically keeping on this story of like, you can't just get rid of my number, like we're gonna find you, like you think this is a game, we're gonna be the last ones laughing, blah blah blah, we're gonna get you. And again, I just like block, report, in the middle of Zumba, they text me from a third number, continuing this story yet again. And now they're getting more specific because they're saying, like, not only are we going to get your family, they're like, we're close. We are at your parents' house. And then they send me my mom's government name, which she doesn't go by, and my sister's name, and they send my actual parents' address. And I'm like, oh fuck, they mean business. Now I gotta figure out what the thousand is, you know? Is it 1,000 USD? Is it 1,000 pesos? Danger boys use pesos. And I'm like, I can give up $60 if I have to, but like, I just need you to specify it. But also, like, this is crazy. This is wild. Okay, so at this point, I report back to my dad, and I tell him again. I'm like, okay, so it's escalated. They've given very specific information. Again, just notifying the local authorities. And so then I come home from Zumba. I'm a little rattled because they're like, 8 o'clock. If you don't pay us, we're coming for you. And so Zumba ends around 7. I dilly dally until about 7:30, and I venture back home. It's 7:45, and I'm like, I'm fine being at home. I don't feel that unsafe. Hey, follow us, safe space until. I don't feel that unsafe, right? But I don't want to be in my home. So I'm sitting on a picnic table. I'm sitting on a picnic table outside, just kind of like chilling out, waiting until 8 o'clock, kind of sussing it out, seeing what's happening. And I'm FaceTiming some friends, and I'm telling them about it, and they're like, "Literally, what's your problem? Like, if you felt so compelled that you need to block and report these numbers, and also report them to the FBI's like cyber scam website, and notify the local authorities, quote unquote, in Texas, why have you not called the police where you live?" And I'm like, okay, I guess you're right. I hang up and I call the police, and they come really quick. I give them the rundown or whatever, and they're like, yeah, it's probably nothing. It's probably just a scam, like an online like cyber scam or whatever. You don't really need to worry about it or anything. So I'm like, okay, well, there's all the information I've got. Um, and then they just kind of took that and ran and then left. Well, then I'm out there waiting a little bit more. Uh, Again, kind of just waiting for the 8 o'clock the time to pass, right? Tell me why at 7:58, I see a mysterious car driving by, and I know that like if I'm sitting at this picnic table, because of the way that my like driveway is set up, if you don't know where you're going already, you're almost certainly going to pass the driveway, right? And so I'm waiting out at the picnic table to watch which cars accidentally pass and do like a U-turn and come back. Because if they do that, I'm gonna fucking book it. I'm gonna run. Me and my little Birkenstocks are gonna be unstoppable. But 7:58. That's what happens, right? A car drives by. It slows down. It's looking a little ominous, a little spooky, and then it does a U-turn, and I'm like, oh god, oh fuck, here we go. It's go time. Okay, I really didn't think my Birks were gonna have to go like get into this. But so I'm like, okay, well, what do I do? I don't want to just like outright run because they're in a car. They can catch me. I'm not that fast. Even though I'm incredibly petite and tiny and I can move myself really quickly because of how tiny I am, I can't run that fast, right? So I'm just like, stay exactly on the opposite side of the building from where the car is, and just kind of like as it's going further in the driveway, I get kind of like further on the opposite end of the apartment. And so I lose sight of them, but eventually I hear the car like start to leave again. So I As they're venturing back down the driveway, I'm venturing back around the apartment the opposite direction. So I never really see what they do. I just see that they leave. I breathe a sigh of relief. I wipe a little sweat. I wipe a little sweat the other direction. I maybe fan my shirt because I'm sweating underneath it. And then I'm like chilling. I'm like, okay, we made it past 8 o'clock. We're in the clear. My neighbor comes out. Oh, shout out to neighbor Heather, friend of the pod. Heather's on the other side of this wall.
Hey,
Heather gets to hear it all. But Heather comes out and she's like, "Hey, so I saw that the cops were out here earlier talking to you. Like, is everything okay?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, theoretically. I'm like kind of the subject, the target of a scam right now. But like, I don't think it's anything that I really need to worry about. It's just, I'm just, checking all the boxes, doing my due diligence." And she's like, "Oh my god, that sounds so stressful." You know what Queen Heather decided to do? Queen Heather decided the only way that she could make me feel better would be to show me pictures of her incredibly attractive significant other. And you know what? Did it not do it? Was my response to her, "Damn, I should get scammed more often"? Yes. Did I tell her, "I am trying to take your partner"? Yes. Did she offer to give me partner's number? Yes. Has she done it yet? No. Fake. Fake. Heather, if you're watching, you're no longer a friend of the pod. You're an enemy of the pod. Anyways, Heather shows me these pictures. I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm feeling relieved. I'm feeling comforted. Um, Heather goes inside. I get back on FaceTime with the friends. I'm like, "Hey guys, I don't really need to worry. Every 8 o'clock has passed. I'm in the clear, right?" I didn't think about the Danger Boys being in and or mentioning different time zones, right? So I'm on the East Coast, and so I'm an hour ahead from where all of my family is. Mind you, the family whose address was texted to me, right? So I think that I'm in the clear, but now I'm realizing, oh wait a minute, I technically still have another hour to worry about this because Danger Boys were threatening my family as well. And so now I'm like, oh god. Well, now I gotta be now I gotta be on edge for another hour. I call my sister and I'm like, "Hey, have you talked to your dad at all?" And she's like, "No." And I'm like, "Well, just a heads up, the Danger Boys may or may not be coming for me and or y'all. So just keep an eye out." They said 8 o'clock, which translates to 9 o'clock Central Time or Texas time. So just keep me posted. Just keep an eye out. Let me know if anything happens, right? So 9 o'clock gets a little bit closer. I'm a little stressy, but still no sign of anything over here where I'm at. 9 o'clock comes and goes. My sister texts me. She's like, "Are you still alive?" Yes. Are you? Yes, they were. Um, so I think I'm in the clear. I think everything's gonna be fine. 10 o'clock comes and goes. The Danger Boys are apparently in the Baja. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, um, which means that they are actually 3 hours behind me because they are, you guessed it, texting me from at this point a fifth phone number, continuing the "We're coming to get you tonight. This is not a test. This is not a drill. We're not fucking playing games. We're coming for you." So it's close to it's like 10:40 now, and at this point, I'm getting more texts from this number, and now I'm re-triggered to be worried because again I'm thinking, oh, they're in a third time zone, so now I need to be worried about that for another 20 minutes because they're like, "We're on our way, we're coming to get you." I'm sick and tired of this. Um, so my sister texts me and she's like, "You still alive?" Yes. And she goes, "Cool. Well, we're just about to head to bed." And I'm not trying to worry her. I'm worried enough. I don't think it's real, but like I'm panicking. Generalized anxiety disorder. That's my guest of the day. Would you like a donut? Because I fucking want a donut. Um. Anyways, so I'm trying not to worry her. I'm trying not to get anyone else to panic too much, right? And so I'm like, if you happen to, just stay up for another 20 minutes, for no reason, if you just wanted to, that'd be great. And she was like, "Why? What makes you say that?" Okay, fine. You drug it out of me. The Danger Boys, they might be coming again. And so she's like, "Okay, fine, we'll stay up an extra 20 minutes." Gives me some peace of mind. 11 o'clock comes and goes. We're all fine. We all make it through the night. And then I realize maybe they have to walk. But that's a problem for another day. On next week's episode, no, I'm kidding. We're not done. I wish we were done. Um, so to recap, they've texted me throughout the entire day, or throughout the entire evening now, right? They've put me through all of the panic of thinking through all of the time zones where all of these threats might actually be actualized. But I'm finally thinking that I'm in the free, right? I block that fifth number. The day ends. I go to bed. I'm feeling fine. The next day comes and goes. Not really anything to remark on. I go out for karaoke with some friends. I come home. 1:30 in the morning. Tell me why at 1:30 in the morning a sixth phone number decides to text me, and it got me at just the right like intersection of like being bootsy and it being late at night for it to really scare the crap out of me. And so now I'm back. I'm like spiraling. Oh yeah, they really are on their way. They're gonna walk here. They're gonna drive here. Again, they just gotta. They're 3 hours behind me. They gotta get over here, right? So so now I'm panicking a little bit more. Block the number. Out of sight, out of mind. A couple days go by, and again, I'm finally starting to feel like, oh, we're in the clear. We did it. We made it. 7 days later, I get a text from a seventh phone number. Are you joking? Are you simply joking with me right now? Seven different phone numbers. All, again, keeping the same storyline of like, we're the danger boys. We're going to come and get you. We're going to unalive you and your family. Finally, they stopped. But seven phone numbers. Seven phone numbers in 7 days. Um, yeah, the worst 7 days of my life. Not true. But I will say it was crazy. It was pretty fucking bonkers. It was nuts. And so that is probably the most prominent scam story that I've got these days. If you want to hear more about them, I got plenty to share. Maybe not plenty, but I would say more than your average person, unfortunately. Um, yeah, I think that's really it for Ep 1. Uh, I mean, what else? What else could we possibly cover? We've covered me. We've covered bits. We've covered the stew. We've covered more me. We've covered memes about, you guessed it, me. And we've talked about the Danger Boys. All in a day's work, y'all. Next week. Next week on Safe Space Until It's Not. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about that. We'll probably have somebody on. We certainly will. I've already recorded it. But yeah, we'll be posting every Friday, Friday morning, so that you can listen on your drive into work, get the day started on a good foot or a bad foot, depending on how the pod goes. You never know. So thanks for joining. Thanks for being there from the very get go. Hopefully you're there at the very end. Ho. Make sure you check out Safe Space Until It's Not everywhere. And by everywhere, I mean Instagram and YouTube and your Spotify's, your Apple Music's, not on Facebook and not on X. But check us out, Safe Space Until, and you can follow your boy on Instagram, Big Dorge. That's BIGDORGE. On Instagram. Yeah, please just stick around for the pod if you want to like, if you want to subscribe, if you want to turn on your post notifications, if you want to leave us a review. Who am I to say no? I'm not. See y'all next week. Think.